It's even just like the amount of resistance they had to putting Valor points in the game. And whenever they did put Valor points in the game, they wouldn't even let people get some gear with it. It was only for upgrades.
Yeah.
And it's like, how much of that is because they, they wheeled Ian out onto those Q&A streams and consistently just had to have the guy explain why deterministic systems are in fact bad and boring. Whenever players were like, no, we actually want some of that.
No. We understand what you're saying. We just disagree. We disagree at a deep level.
Yeah.
Can you please listen to us? No.
The ultimate way for a player to say, no, actually, I really do disagree, is to unsubscribe and to leave an honest exit poll. I think that's the only way to do it. I don't think that spamming the Warcraft devs Twitter account will do anything at all.
No.
And certainly, if you have negative sentiment towards World of Warcraft, honestly, do everyone a favor and do not engage with any Blizzard staff on Twitter, because if you have a moment of weakness and say something that is highly emotional and targeted at specific individuals, all that will do is hurt the people who are trying to give the useful feedback. Now, that said, I do get the impression that, the likes of, I guess, myself and some other people in the WoW content scene, I'm not going to name any names, but I think viewers will know, a bunch of us, I think, are just feeling defeated. Just a little bit depressed that this stuff keeps on happening.
Yep. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
It's like the exit poll, and if you're really feeling strong and have to get something out there, like sit with yourself, understand what the problems are, why you don't like it, and maybe write something that players can get behind on r/WoW or a forum post, but it has to be squeaky clean and extremely well considered.
Yeah.
Extremely well considered, because that's the only thing they'll listen to is genuine, heartfelt concern that they can understand, which will be through the philosophy of their decision making, I think. And even then, I don't know if they'll listen. I don't know if they'll read it, but I don't know if they'll...
At one point, I would have said I thought they'd listen, but honestly, at this stage, I can't even tell.
Yeah.
I can't even tell at all. Yeah. Honestly, it's the more I think about World of Systems Craft, I just get depressed about the entire endeavor. Because I truly believe that the philosophies that are guiding the World of Warcraft development team right now are not in the best interest of the game's players. I think they could be in the best interest of, well, it's kind of weird because they keep on doing things that seemingly are for the high-end players.
Yeah.
But all they seem to achieve is to piss off the high-end players.
It's a weird game of cat and mouse, I think.
Yeah.
Where they're basically sparring with high-end players. They're they're jabbing at each other in different ways consistently. They're giving them one thing and taking another away, and it feels like a game sometimes, especially when they're talking about, well, how do we solve the problem of splitting raids for funneling gear, and it's they could solve that in an afternoon probably, but they're not willing to, which means they don't actually have they're not completely going behind that audience or that player base. They're toying with them a little bit. They're seeing how far they'll go in certain situations.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Mythic Raider, it must feel like, okay, what way are they going to fuck me this patch?
Yeah.
But I think that because that sparring match that you talked about there, it's they're constantly sparring. But I've always viewed my job on this platform as being to advocate for the regular Joe, average World of Warcraft player, the person who is playing a fantasy multiplayer role-playing game because they want their avatar to look cool, and because they want to get some cool shit. They want to go on some cool adventures, spend some time in a cool world, and do it with their friends. And I feel like that group is just left behind and not given enough attention because the constant sparring of the top end is happening. And, all of those systems and stuff, I rarely see them actually helping your average player. And, it's all those Destiny 2 things we keep on saying. Destiny 2 is a game where you can only play Destiny 2 basically as an instanced content, sort of, very numbers-focused player. That's the only way to play Destiny 2. It's the only way they've designed it. You're not playing that game for the narrative experience.
Yeah.
Unless you really like to, read the lore. And apparently the lore is actually quite cool in Destiny. Yeah. But with World of Warcraft, it's obviously very different to that. I keep on saying the world is the character, but versus other MMOs, it's like they've spent the least amount of time investing in that world. Like Guild Wars 2 had, it was called Dragonfall or something, but there's this island, right? There's this dragons crash down into it. And on this island, and I think some of the new, like the dragon mounts and stuff are to do with that place, but like it actually moves. The whole level moves because the level's got this like dragon in it, and it's got this like world event where to fight this dragon or like stop it or whatever, you've got to like have people going across, and this is in the open world, not instanced, going across this dragon, doing different events and doing different things. And it's like, they obviously invested a lot in the world because the actual zone itself is like a video game level with interactivity and things going on. And it's like they keep on saying that World of Warcraft's the main character, but they never invest in that. No, and it's like, investing in the world of Warcraft, that's not going to matter to a bunch of MDI players and people who live to push keys. But it is going to matter to like people who are playing World of Warcraft because they see a World of Warcraft banner ad. They watch the South Park episode about World of Warcraft. They're really captured by the fantasy and the experience. And it's like, that's the bit they've really... It's like they've forgotten it.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to get them to remember that. It almost seems like the people who are there don't care about that type of game. It's like they care about, you know, building up the lore and then instanced content.
And they've got a reason not to with Classic.
I suppose so,
Because I was sitting there thinking, well, I know how to get them... Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think a way to maybe force them to get it is actually... very inhumane. Would not recommend or advocate for this, but sitting them down in front of the classic, the original classic trailer, with everyone running around the world in some PvP fighting, and just watch this for like 6 hours a day for a week.
Yeah, it's like I honestly am, other than raiding and that type of gameplay, which I love in current modern World of Warcraft. For almost everything else, I am more interested in playing the Burning Crusade. That's actually why I've not touched beta, because I want to get my work life in a place where I actually have the free time to go play TBC beta. That's what I want to do, because TBC beta, like, just obviously the stuff seems more meaningful and interesting than what they do right now. So,
yeah, might have some less well-designed classes, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that won't matter at all.
Banadonna says here, I wonder if anyone from Blizzard actually watches your vids, has a second thought on what's being said here. I'm not sure. I mean, there is a chance people at Blizzard watch our stuff. I mean, I think they clearly just disagree in most of it and aren't interested in listening. And I think they probably see me being passionate and animated about some of these things, and they see it as an attack. You know, at the end of the day, I'm going to try to be cordial, but that's my thing. I can only do my job well if I don't give a shit what WoW devs think about me as a human, in a way, right? Now, obviously, you can't just go in there all guns blazing being a big dickhead, but if I am doing my World of Warcraft content and I'm thinking about, oh, but what if I want to go to BlizzCon and, you know, get into the party with the WoW devs and rub shoulders with the boys? You know, if those were my intentions, if I wanted to be having friendly Twitter banters with World of Warcraft developers and, you know, all of that stuff, and I kind of just wanted to have this purely positive sort of thing going on, kind of brand, I guess, I would obviously do almost everything that I do differently. But in my view, the only way that I can actually be useful and not be basically a corporate patsy is to be completely honest and authentic. Because if I optimize what I say such that whenever I see a WoW dev at a BlizzCon, we can have a great time together, then I'm doing everyone watching us a disservice. And, you know, that would be me prioritizing some of my own personal, you know, happy funnies and social interactions over trying to do my job well for however many hundreds of thousands of people watch our content. Seems obvious to me what the priorities are, so that's my answer, Banadonna. It's like, I hope some of them do. You know, I have a sense, let's just say, that there's sometimes a bit of disagreement and internal strife within the WoW team. I'd imagine that one camp of the WoW team probably is fine with our content and maybe agrees with a bunch of it, and that the other camp doesn't. And I feel like the other camp's the one that actually has the power.
Certainly feels that way. Certainly feels that way.
Yeah, so I guess that's what's going on there.